So let's talk about the Percy Jackson in the room. Is Percy Jackson a ripoff of this series? Now, admittedly, I haven't read the Percy Jackson books. I watched the two shitty movies. This is inspired because this morning the teaser trailer came out, and apparently the first two episodes are going to drop on the 20th of December of this year, 2023. And, I hadn't really thought about it before this because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of that series. Although I heard it's very good, and the author seems to be less problematic than the author of Harry Potter. But from what little bit I know about Percy Jackson, if you've read the series, let me know. It feels, you know, like the author has seen this series. Just saying, we've got the trio of three. It's two guys and a girl. There's magic. We're not really seeing now. One thing about this series, and really One Piece as well, we're not really seeing like the hybrids that you have in Percy Jackson. We don't have goat people walking around with like goat legs and half fish people or something. Harry Potter didn't have that either, really. Like you had other races, other species, but you didn't have the half breed kind. I think there's a lot of half breedness going on in Percy Jackson, from what I know. But nothing's ever gonna be 100%. Like they're not. I seriously doubt the word ninjas ever uttered in Percy Jackson the entire series, right? So, but it's more like inspired by, right? The books of magic by Neil Gaiman, the graphic novel series, clearly inspired Harry Potter, even if J.K. Rowling doesn't remember it. But they came out first. It's a boy, looks just like Harry Potter. He's got an owl as a pet. It's magic. I don't think he has the two buddies like Ron and Hermione. But again, it's like it's never gonna be a 1-to-1. It's gonna be like this. I see this. This gives me an idea for my thing, and I don't even remember where I got the idea from. Clearly, she doesn't remember. She would have made it a little different, giving blonde hair or something. It's just we don't know where our ideas come from. I've talked about this before. If we do, we change it. That's why you'll see things be like for instance, 50 Shades of Grey started out as Twilight fan fiction, and she filed the serial numbers off when she wanted to try to make money off of it. But if you know that if you've seen both, you've seen Twilight, and then you read 50 Shades of Grey, you can see some similarities there. Apparently, like I haven't read it, either one of them, but I've seen. I don't think I've seen the 50 Shades movies. I've just seen people talk about it. But that's just the thing. Like when it's conscious, you follow the serial numbers off, and really, if probably nobody who wasn't told this would know that make the connection between those two franchises. Because there is no buddy who like apparently is a werewolf in 50 Shades, as far as I know. It's when you don't know where you get your inspiration from that this happens, right? Like because J.K. Rowling didn't know she got inspired by the books of magic, or she would have made it a lot different. Like I said, giving him blonde hair or giving him something besides an owl. So she probably saw it in passing. Maybe she just saw posters, or because she seems mostly to be visually inspired by books of magic. So she probably was in a bookstore at some point in time, saw the comic book covers, maybe the bookstore had a huge cover, on the wall or something, as one does. The other thing is the trio, two guys and a girl, is pretty common. Like, there's so many different franchises in friend groups and stuff that's like two guys and a girl. It's classic. It's iconic. It's kind of like the grandmother, the mother, and the teenage girl. Like the fates. It's the maiden, the matron, and then the matriarch. Right? Like that's just a classic pattern that goes through history. So if you have a story that has those three things, it's not like you're ripping off the fates, right? It's just it's an archetype essentially. So the two guys and girl is kind of an archetype. You have the two guys can be two different facets, and then you have to have the girl because it kind of mixes things up. Plus three is more interesting than two. They can pair off in different ways. You have the potential for a love triangle. Any orientation of love triangle can happen there, except for I guess two girls. So maybe a group of four is even better. But so I'm just saying, just because it's a group of three and it's two guys and a girl doesn't mean they're ripping off. Percy Jackson's ripping off Naruto, but it just feels similar. And maybe these archetypes are one of the reasons why Naruto is popular. I think there's a lot of reasons. I think first of all, it's just cool. If you're 12, this is something cool to watch, right? It's interesting. It's involved. It's complicated. I was just reading a comment just now. I'll save it since this is, the comment corner was yesterday. I want to try to save some of these comments. But they were telling me like the difference between the three, styles. The three techniques are, I don't even know if technique is the right word. Let me look at this comment real quick. So ninjutsu is the ability to use chakra to perform different styles like fire, water, clones, etc. Taijutsu, the ability to use hand-to-hand combat, and genjutsu is deceiving others through illusion, making others see things that aren't there. That's actually very interesting. And also, I think if I'm correct, ninjutsu, which is a real world thing, ninjutsu. I've heard of ninjutsu. I've heard that since the '80s, right? Like, it's a real world thing. I don't think that's what they're saying here. I think this is ninjutsu, not ninjutsu, unless I'm just pronouncing it wrong. It's actually the same thing. We pronounce foreign words wrong, right? So, but the point of all that is like there's things to learn and there's things you and your friends can do. Like somebody was telling me they tried to run up a tree when they were a kid, right? Like there's things you can play act, and this was probably if I hadn't seen this when I was that age, I would have had a lot of fun. We played what was called guns. We just called it guns because not very creative. We would all have our little play guns. We'd go out in the backyard and we'd try to shoot each other and stuff. But with this, you don't even need guns. Maybe you need those little knives, which I think are cool. But you could just use your hands and be playing something elaborate and cool and with your friends and try these techniques and stuff and pretend you got clones and stuff. That would have been a lot of fun. So it's popular for that reason. But it could also be popular because of the archetype thing. Just something I'm thinking about. I mean, I'm not accusing Percy Jackson of plagiarism, but things can be inspired by things, and I think into every generation a story is born. And into every generation the story of the trio with magic and friends and enemies and techniques and stuff and mythology is born. This was a generation from I guess this would have been one generation ago, and Percy Jackson would be this generation. We're probably going to be starting a new generation pretty soon. Creatively speaking, I think generations are 10 years instead of 20 years. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it. This is episode 52, and I also noticed on Netflix they consider this the end of season 2. So, probably just kind of put a button on everything we had in the last episode, and then we're probably going to have like I guess we're on to a new adventure, which would be the third exam. So, that's what I'm thinking. You know where we are? 3, 2, 1. How dare you? I don't follow the rules. What an asshole. Yeah. Calm down and sit down. Hey, this is a flashback or a recap or something. I remember this. And if he was? What if he was? Oh, that's right. It's this guy you don't like, right? Doesn't he call him a pervert or something? Yeah, that's what I thought. Why does that have to be a closet pervert, by the way? Maybe he's wide open. Oh, that's right. I need to also, to not hear the title, I have to also pull that off. That's what I'm wondering. What's that about? Yeah. Damn. I like the implication that like you can only be taught by somebody who's stronger than you. What if the person knows the skills set you need? They may not be able to achieve it as good as you, but they can teach you how to achieve your excellence. In other words, really. In on the other hand, maybe he's just incompetent because that's what the vibe I'm getting. Really, you gonna bribe him, huh? Really? I guess I was wrong. I think he's incompetent. I like his eye twitching. Look, we only have five teachers. Sorry. There's not that many around. Ebisu. Ebisu. I have a feeling he's going to be around for a while, so I might as well learn his name. Yeah, I don't like the idea that you have to be stronger than your student to be a good teacher. That's wrong. You just have to know what you're doing and be able to communicate it. It's like saying a football coach has to have been a better player than you are as a player. We know that's not true. Yep, that's true. I'm going to keep making the football analogies because that's another, you have to, if you work hard on fundamentals, you can be fairly decent. Now I'm going to go do that thing I do. Hell, you got to bribe me, man. You got to pay off the bribe now. See, that's just I fundamentally, speaking of fundamentals, disagree with that statement. You are weak. You're mentally weak if that did take you, though. The guy who does the voiceover for Naruto, he's pushing his dialogue out of his voice. That's the thing I don't like about it. When you talk like this, you're pushing the words out of your body, right? And that's what he's doing. That'll mess up your throat too. I wouldn't direct you to do it that way. And he only does it when Naruto's like angry or faux angry or whatever. But it's not a good way to go. Is what I'm saying. Oh shit! See, like right there, that's an example of that. We haven't really seen like downtown, whatever town this is, very much. The first run of episodes, and then they've been gone ever since. Right? It's kind of interesting to come back here. Your arrogance will be your undoing. Oops. I have the high ground, Anakin. I like his smug voice. Well, it's pink smoke. That's probably a bad sign. He's going to use that, harem against you again. He probably put a tracker on you. Hey, what's that billboard selling? Like, what are you selling there? He's still behind you. Yeah. Oh, so they're going to tell us what this is. What is it? Oh, he's gonna use this guy's lust against him again. That's what he's gonna do. I don't know what the hell the billboard's selling, but it's nothing good. Just seeing the billboard is enough, huh? Incompetent. Unbelievable. Oh, I see. You realize three-dimensional space, like, I like this power. It's probably not my favorite, but it's in the top five. Does Naruto know that like he's training for the next round? He should be working on the fundamentals. I guess. I guess that's kind of what he's working on. This is a fundamental power. What I'm saying is like it seems super specific for this specific teacher rather than what you might be facing, in a couple days, a month. But it is working on the fundamentals. You're working on your base, your foundation essentially. Dumbass. Hey, that's one thing. The first thing they teach you in martial arts is how to take a fall. You do have to, I think he pulled that off. Yeah. Hey, he learned that from his buddy. Again, though, some of this is just cartoon logic, right? Because three-dimensional space is different than two-dimensional space. Like you would see the shadows. You can't just back up against the wall and hold up a blanket and disguise yourself, unless there's magic involved, which there could be. So some of this is cartoon logic. Yeah, no, never. You can't shake me. It's my job. I really like that. Ebisu, I like his smug voice. Nope, you still weak. Oh, this is just still a demonstration. This isn't even his training yet. Kakashi. Maybe I'll finally learn his name. It's more of a creek, not to nitpick. He's gonna kick my ass. I mean, not being predictable, I would think would be a good thing. Uh, Back in the water with you. He knew enough to put a clone up there, right? Thought you were unpredictable. Probably still a clone. Really? Guess I've proven myself to you. Sounds good. Here's your bribe, kid. We don't need the slurping. We can believe that he's eating. I'm enjoying their shenanigans music. Really? Oh, shit. Yeah, you can't build up fast enough or build up enough. No need to be snippy. Wait, you tell me she does something better than you? Hey, I like her little health bar there. I know it's her magic bar. Yeah. Excellent. Look at her posing. Right, right. Yeah, her clones are pissed. Hmm, this magic bar is a little inferior. And he's smug about it, apparently. Now let's look at your magic bar. Yeah. This is going to be ugly. Let's see your animation. Oh, shit. Okay, let's see your waist bar. Jesus. Wow. That is ugly. Man, we've seen him produce 25. What are you talking about? That's the only part that undercuts what he's saying here. I mean, I believe what he's saying, but we've seen him produce like a shitload of them. Yeah, I get what he's saying. You need to be more efficient. Right. Peak efficiency. That's what we're looking for here. It's luck. Yeah, that's right. You're a bad MFer. Like I said, I knew he was going to turn evil. He's got that evil in him. You got the devil in you, boy. Yeah. I like this. Get paid. Oh, shit. We're buying a new Lexus. Burn that credit card up. Why are you walking like that? You look like a crab. Really? We're in peak shenanigans this episode. I guess that's why they showed us the interior of it, right? You probably need to learn that. Some hot springs. Interesting. There's a little bit too much like immature bickering for him to be a teacher. Like, come on, dude. Like, you have the high ground, figuratively speaking. There's no need to pander down, you know. Oh shit. Oh man, he went big head. That's not good. Yeah. Well, that's a good point, actually. If you can go up the tree, well, then you suck. Right. Exactly. The water. If you can do that, I mean, literally walk on water, that'd be interesting. What? This would give him a. This would give him a level of control that could be useful in all kinds of areas. Right. Right. That makes sense. Just make it happen. Yeah. I walk on water. That's right. They would call me Jesus back in the day. You better keep your concentration, though. That is cool, man. You're gonna go straight to the bottom. Straight to the bottom. As I suspected. Wait, oh, so yeah, hot springs. Yeah. 60 degrees Celsius seems bad. Yeah. You have nothing. Maybe you should try 1 foot instead of putting your whole weight on there. Yeah. Yep, boiled like a lobster. He is working out, man. I don't know why we're randomly going into this flashback. That's right. I gotta get my 500 push-ups in a day. Oh, I see the point. Okay, that was a laser-guided flashback. There are no shortcuts. Yeah, look at him. You haven't truly mastered a subject till you learn how to teach it. Yep. Focus. How did that distract him? Oh, I see. It's a solid wall. What are you talking about? Well, I guess we're in the thick of things. Just we needed a cliffhanger. That's what it was. Stomped out. Maybe you are weak. How is he looking through a solid wall? I don't understand. Shameless, in fact. Place cliffhanger here. Looks like they changed the closing. I like the one where the animated Sakuras were dancing. I got a lot to say about this one, so I'll save something for the intro for the next episode. But most importantly, here I think that one of the things I've seen like immature adults get caught up in is they get caught up in they play the game that the children they're trying to discipline or control or whatever, like maybe their parents, maybe their teachers, whatever. I have a friend who's a para for 5 through 10, I think. 10 year olds, like disabled kids will like sometimes they'll need like extra help, they'll need like a 1-to-1 so that they can learn, but they need a constant attention, in other words. So that's her job, right? She's not a teacher, it's basically a teacher's assistant, but it's for disabled kids, either physically or mentally or emotionally. So she's taught me a lot about that, like how you maintain control no matter what. And one of the things you really have to keep in mind is that when you have all the power, there's nothing they can say or do to touch you, right? Like, say the 6-year-old calls you ugly. Well, like there's several reasons why it doesn't matter. One, like they're angry with you, so they're trying to lash out at you. So once you understand that, like you understand the motivation behind the statement, then it doesn't mean anything, right? Like it's not like they're not sitting there, on the Hot or Not website or the Rotten Tomatoes of looks, giving you a critical analysis of your appearance. Even if they were, they're not equipped to actually give an informed opinion on that. So you're not ugly, or even if you are ugly, it doesn't matter if they said that, right? Because like they're just lashing out. So them saying that to you, it just means nothing, absolutely nothing. It has no impact on you, and so you just carry about your business. Like you're ugly. Okay, well that's great, but like you still have to sit down and pay attention, right? And so it's when the inferior, weak adults are the ones who engage with that. Well, you're ugly too. They get pissed off or somehow they lash out or like they feel the need to respond to it. Like you don't have to respond to everything people tell you. And I'm not even talking about like YouTube comments or anything. I'm just saying that like in your daily life, you don't have to generate a response to everything somebody tells you. Like you should evaluate it. Is this worthy of a response? A lot of ththings aren't, and then there's so much less drama you can have in your life if you understand this, right? But especially when you're dealing with kids. And Ibusa's problem is he's engaging with Naruto on his level, on Naruto's level, the immature, childish level, not the adult level. He's engaging it, right? And you can't do that and be an effective parental figure or teacher or anything. Like if you engage with them on their level, it's like you're a peer. They will have no respect for you, and he clearly doesn't have any respect for him. So the guy knows a lot about chakra and jitsu and all this stuff. He knows a lot about that stuff, but he comes across like he's very young himself. Like he must only be like 20 or something. I don't know. It's really hard to tell in anime what ages are, but he comes across really young. He hasn't learned these things yet. I didn't know that. I wasn't born knowing all this stuff I know. There was a lot of life experience. If I was a 20-year-old teacher, I probably would engage with them on their level because I didn't know any better, right? So I think that's his biggest weakness.